This is an ABC color presentation.
Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Look, all I'm saying is you can't underestimate the power of positive underwear.
Hi friends, sorry for the late start, but today is National Diversity Day. Did you know that? Yes, it's a time to try seeing the world through someone else's eyes. So today in the nation's capital, one party will be the morons and the other party will be the idiots. Good afternoon, my friends. I'm Joe Haffner. Today is Friday, October 4th, 2013, and you know what that means? It's time for your first cup. Thank you. You're all too kind. Well, good Friday afternoon, my friends. It is the 4th day of October 2013, and off to a later start than I planned. I know I said yesterday I was going to try to be on between 11 and 11:30 at the latest. That didn't happen. Work last night kicked my ass, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that. It was machines were running a little more decently than normal, but we still had some glitches. And by the end of the night, yours truly was a tired camper, and a very irritable camper. So if any of my friends from work are listening, I apologize for my irritable mood, especially from midnight break on. That's when it really hit me, and I'm like, ugh. And I hate acting like this. I don't like to act like this. It doesn't do anyone any good. But I'm feeling a little better today. Got a little sleep. And I was going to get up around 10 o'clock and do the last minute preparations for the show today. But I did wake up at 10, but my body was going like, Joe, go back to sleep for a few more minutes. We'll wake you up at around 10:30, okay? And I'm like, okay, alright. And then I was out. I woke up at 10:30 like I said I would. Well, at least my eyes open, but I don't know if I'm awake yet. So I stirred around, brewed a fresh pot of coffee, as opposed to a stale pot of coffee, grabbed a bite to eat at Taco Bell, or as I like to call it this time of year, Taco Hell, especially on a Friday afternoon. And then here we are on day 4 of the federal government shutdown 2013. And it doesn't look like anything has changed in that regard in the nation's capital. I'll have details on that coming up in a few minutes on the program. And if you're new to this show, the intro is a little bit different than normal. I thought it was stupid to play this standard intro, wishing you a good morning, when half the country is already in the afternoon. So I chose my alternate theme for such emergencies, and there it was. You're probably going, why is the Daily Show on this program? Yeah, because that's the theme to the Daily Show. Can't remember the name of the song now or the group that did it. They Might Be Giants, I think it was the name of the group, but I can't think of the song that Comedy Central uses. Which irritates me because, if I'm not mistaken, I think Comedy Central was one of the casualty stations that Cable One took away when they couldn't reach an agreement with Turner Broadcasting, because I have no TBS, no TNT, I have no CNN, no HLN, no Cartoon Network, just to name a few, that I have no treaty and no Lieutenant Yar. That's a Star Trek Next Generation joke, by the way. But what is coming up on the program are the usual features, like what I call my Bruce Williams segment. That's my opening monologue, where I talk about what's on my mind for the day. Kind of a autobiography and let you in on what's going on in this little noggin of mine up here. What's trending, as well as the latest news headlines, along with the national weather forecast, local weather forecast for the Kirksville, Missouri region, as well as News of the Weird, CBS World News Roundup, what's on TV tonight, and a whole lot more, along with the song of the day. Okay? Those are just a few of the many things coming up. Now, toward the beginning of the program, you probably heard this sound. Yeah, it was on this date in 1957, my friends. October 4th. 1957, if I'm not mistaken, it was also a Friday, and that's when the space race really got underway, with the Soviets launching Sputnik into orbit. And meanwhile, back here in the United States of America, we had our priorities straight, only it wasn't into the space race. It was in the ratings race on television, and the premiere of this sitcom.
Leave it to Beaver.
That's right, both happened on the same day. Well, technically, the Leave It to Beaver pilot was shot that April with a slightly different set of actors. I think there was a different Wally and a different Ward, but that was changed by CBS later on, and then the show only lasted a year on CBS and then went to NBC. But enough of my TV geekiness for right now. We'll have more details on what happened on this date in history coming up in a few minutes as well. Another one of the many segments on this program. And a special birthday dedication going out to a very dear friend of mine as well. Okay? Well, that's all on the way. But before I get into the heart of today's program, you can always send me your comments, your suggestions via email to Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. That's Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. And for now and through the rest of this year, through the rest of 2013, you can advertise for free anything you'd like to sell, buy, trade, or rent, so long as it doesn't pertain to anything illegal, immoral, doesn't pertain to guns or alcohol. But anything else is good to go in this program, whether you're looking to buy or sell a house, or rent a house, or sell clothing, electronics, furniture, whatever the case might be. You can advertise for free through the end of the year on this very program. Gunther's House of Friends at gmail.com. Check out my website, tinyurl.com/Gunther's House on your PC, your Mac, your Linux computer, or your tablet computer. Again, that's tinyurl.com/Gunther's House, or on your smartphone at tinyurl.com/Gunther Mobile. That's tinyurl.com/Gunther Mobile, and that's good on your Android, iOS, or Windows phone. Plus, you can download your the Stitcher app directly off of my front page of my website, or the Spreaker app at Spreaker.com. That's speaker with an R after the P, and a couple of ways you can listen to previous episodes of First Cup or whatever else I happen to be producing at that particular time. Stitcher.com and Spreaker.com. A couple of places you can listen to previous episodes of First Cup. And before I continue on with the topics on my mind for today, I want you to go to the Friends page of my website. Again, that's tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or tinyurl.com/Gunther Mobile. See, my phone likes it. Go to the Friends page and then click on Wishing Stars Native Creations. Okay? It's a long word. I know it's a long phrase, but it's one that you'll remember. Wishing Stars Native Creations. Okay? That's where you can get great, authentic Native American jewelry at very reasonable prices. Custom-made Native American jewelry, made the way you like it, not the way some bigwig in some factory that you've never seen in a place you've never heard of is making. This is right here, made in the good old United States of America, right here in Missouri, from my very dear friend Chris. Okay, so check her out. Wishing Stars Native Creations. Now, Of course, I've spent a lot of the time this week talking about the Affordable Care Act and the government shutdown. I'm going to focus a little bit on the government shutdown a little bit today and kind of lay off on the Affordable Care Act. You know where I stand, and we may not always agree, but I've stated my position. You're welcome to state yours via email if you'd like. But the government shutdown, I'm going to focus more on that because that's affecting everybody just as much as the Affordable Care Act is. Well, on a lighthearted story, I didn't see this, but pretty much nothing stops Stephen Colbert, and that includes a government shutdown. I don't know who wrote this article, but anyway, so when a to-be-married couple, whose plight was covered by Today on Wednesday, when they discovered that their wedding location at the Jefferson Memorial was now off limits, the Colbert Colbert Report host leaped into the breach and married them on Thursday night's show. So how about that? And I haven't had time to find out the couple's name, where they're from, but nevertheless, I wish them the best. And Stephen Colbert, even if this is a publicity stunt, God bless you, man. That is a true gentleman right there. Stephen Colbert, I like the guy. I mean, he turned himself into a caricature of himself, and but he's really, I think, a decent guy at heart, and a decent man to step in and help this couple on their way. Of course, now he had the easy part. He legalized the ceremony. You know, he had the ceremony. Now it's up to the couple to make it last and work. On to more delicate matters. We're 4 days into the government shutdown, and there's no closure in sight. And I still blame both the Democrats and the Republicans equally for this mess. And more importantly, I blame you and I for this mess. It's been my observation of political crises like this in the past, that people get ticked off, pissed off at the government, saying, "Oh, we need to reform this, we need term limits," and yada 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 yada. And then about like a day or two after the problem has been solved, so to speak, solved in quotation marks, by the way, or italics, people forget about it. They get back into their mundane life and don't give two poops about it after that. They might pay a lip service every once in a while, but for the most part, people don't do anything to follow up. And I'm partially to blame for that. I'm as guilty as those that I accuse. And one of the ways that I at least try to bring that up is through seemingly antagonizing posts on Facebook to get people to think about what their government is doing, and more importantly, about what their government is not doing. And so this walking on eggshells, and it's been a balancing act, especially in the past couple of weeks. And I know I've strained a lot of friendships, and a couple of them have been destroyed. But the way I see it, it is the other person's problem, not mine. I didn't attack, I just merely stated my opinion. And if you don't like my opinion, well, you're welcome to ignore my comment. But if you can't handle my comment, then I will block you from Facebook. Simple as that. I don't like to do that tactic. I think it's juvenile. But if you find me that offensive, block me, or ignore me, disregard me. I may not like it, but at least I know where we stand. But that doesn't make the problem go away. And the problem is, right now, we have a government, we have two very strong, different political philosophies essentially on the forefront here. You have one group that wants to keep things the way they're going. You have another group that wants to make this place better for everyone else. That's the way I see it. And then on top of it, you got these other groups out there, these splinter groups, that are kind of in between. That, like, for example, the Tea Party, who is pissed off at the government, wants it to go back to the way it was in 1776, which did have some admirable traits. But a lot of that is what I call glorifying our history, looking over the high points. You forget things like slavery, manifest destiny. Manifest destiny basically was saying we're going to spread across the country. Well, that's fine.